Hi, my name's Travis. I'm from Melbourne, Australia. My wife and I have been on the trying to get pregnant journey for about 8 years. About a year and a half ago, or just over a year and a half, we decided to look at surrogacy as an option. And we looked at all the different countries, and prior to the war, Ukraine was number 3 on the list, and their price point really suited us too. However, they're at war, aren't they? So that was a big concern for us. I researched into their kind of legislation. All the surrogacy, all the companies that do surrogacy globally are all it's all written into legislation and so on. That's a given. But with Ukraine's legislation, it's really quite progressive, and their laws actually really they work to mine and my wife's favour. So one example of that is the birth certificate. So in a lot of countries, they actually have the surrogate's name is written on the birth certificate, and then you've got to go through a whole lot of pain to get it changed. Often it can't be changed, and the mother just has to the biological mother just has to live with that. That was on the top of our list was that my wife needed to be on the birth certificate, and with the Ukraine, they allow that to happen. So that's really good. I went over to Uzhhorod to do the deposits. At first, I was apprehensive. I was really kind of steering towards shipping. But I also did some research. I did more research on their legislation, and my takeaway from the cases that I've reviewed is it's actually works out more favourable in terms of documentation and a clearer and an easier exit out of Ukraine when you make the deposits there. That was my takeaway from when I did a lot of research, over a year ago. So the options were to ship from Australia. I looked at getting as close as possible to Ukraine and then kind of shipping it from those neighboring countries, or looking at a number of different kind of cities and towns in Ukraine. We landed with Uzhhorod because it is right on the Slovakian border, and that is Slovakia is a part of NATO, and if Russia was to play war on that border, and that was to spill over into Slovakia, and it is so close it could, NATO would be on Russia's doorstep within hours. So with that in mind, and I looked at, you can't rule out the risk of kind of a potential attack, missiles and stuff like that, but it is really, really low. It is extremely low. And I took that bet, and I went over there, and it was fine. And I'm glad I made a decision to go over there because I got to see Ukraine and to see what it's like, a country being in war. And my takeaway was, Uzhhorod is just a normal business as usual kind of service center. Retailers are trading, restaurants are open, cafes are open. It's quite vibrant. Uzhhorod is. So my first impressions was it was safe, it was secure, the hotel was fine. There wasn't any military presence in Uzhhorod. What you did see was you saw guys that were on leave from war, and they would be in their kind of, it was like a tracksuit kind of uniform. So it was clearly a uniform for when they're off duty, I guess. So you'd see some of those guys go around, but other than that, there was no kind of evidence of war going on. My border crossing was fine. Well, I'll peel it back just a little bit. I went from Melbourne to Vienna, and then got a connecting flight to Kosice, which is Slovakia's second biggest city on the eastern side of Slovakia. Stayed there a night, and then I caught the bus the next day to Uzhhorod, and it all kind of, it wasn't that difficult. I was concerned that the Uzhhorod may be written in kind of Ukrainian or Slovakian or something, and I wouldn't be able to kind of make sense of it. But it was written in English. It was written in English as well as Ukraine and Slovakian. So it was obviously kind of, they considered everyone, I guess, really. It took about an hour to get through Slovakian border. Took about an hour and a half to get through Ukraine border, and then within 5 minutes of crossing the border, we were in Uzhhorod. I was there for 9 days, I think. I did 3 deposits. Ave fertility were there the whole time, which was really good. So they would pick me up at my hotel, and then we'd go to the actual clinic, and I'd do my part. Other than that, I was a tourist there. I did touristy kind of things. I ate a lot of food. I went down to the river and experienced all the pubs and the restaurants. And I was basically just a tourist. And I actually had a really good time. I thought it was quite fun being in Uzhhorod. The people were good. In terms of language, the young guys, they spoke English. The older guys didn't, and that's no different to most kind of non-English speaking countries that we go to when we travel. I'm back there we are back there in September, late September, because we've got a girl due. I speak with a degree of bias because we have been on a very, very long journey of 8 years total, and at the 6.5 year mark, we started looking into surrogacy, and we landed with Ukraine, and then we landed with Ave fertility, and they've got us a result. We've got a baby on the way. So it has worked out, and it was all the first time. I mean, we'd done IVF so many times and had so many false reads, I guess, or whatever you call it, so many kind of no, you're not pregnant. And when we looked into surrogacy, all the stars aligned. It's all kind of lined up beautifully, and we've got a surrogate really quickly, and the surrogate's exceptional and healthy and a really good, exceptional quality. I know it sounds funny me saying that, but she is. She's brilliant. So we're really happy with the choices that we've made. It's not the end of the road. We've still got to get there and be there for the birth, and then we've got to exit out of Ukraine, and that will kind of complete the chapter until the baby's home in Australia. That completes the chapter. But yeah, so that's kind of my experience with Uzhhorod. It was perfectly safe, me being there, and I'm glad I went there. because I got to see Ukraine firsthand, and I got to kind of check it all out before I get my wife over there, to make sure it's safe, and that it's safe for my baby too. So, thank you.